Alrighty, welcome to my presentation. Today I'll be speaking about tying your shoelaces. As you can see above, this is the standard method for tying your shoes. Now you might be asking yourself why this might be useful to you. If you do not wear shoes, this may not apply to you. But in this area, a lot of people wear shoes. And if you're new to wearing shoes, this is a very informative methodology as to how you can effectively and efficiently tie your shoes. You start with your first diagram. If you have a shoe that has two shoelaces standard, you're going to position them in your hands so that you can tie them together. This should take you just a moment. You shouldn't really have to think about it much. You're just orientating yourself to perform the action. The second action is making sure that the shoelaces are overlapping so that you are preparing yourself to tie them. The third position, you should be tying the shoelaces by overlapping them like we previously stated and pulling them together. In this position, the shoelaces are tied, but they're not tightened. This should take you about a second to do, and the next action that you'll have to perform will be tying the shoelaces securely and tightly so that you can make a knot. In order to tie your shoelaces going forward, at the end position, you want to have two shoelaces in a tied position. In order for you to have a secure foundation for the knot that you will be making with your shoes, you will need to tie your shoelaces together, which brings us to the next position. On diagram 5, we see that you are at the position now where your shoelaces are tied, securely fastened, but you have not made a secure knot. In this position, you have tightness around your foot and around your shoe, but you will not be able to continue because there's no knot that is fastening the shoe together. If you continue at this position and you do not make a secure knot, your shoelaces will come apart eventually as you walk or after any period of movement. Securing the shoelaces together so that you can make a secure knot should take you about 1.2 seconds according to the diagram. This will be vary depending on the type of shoe you have, depending on the type of laces that you have, and depending on the type of shoelace holes. You might need to tie your shoes tighter or looser depending on your actual body and your foot and the type of shoe you're wearing. Be careful not to tie your shoe too tight. You don't want to choke your foot and allow yourself to have decreased blood flow to that region of your body. In the next position, you've made a knot. You haven't made a knot yet, but you're preparing yourself to make a knot. Your shoelaces are tied, fastened, and you're making the loops that are required in order for you to make a knot. Be very careful to note that you want to make sure that you're making the knot, that when making the knot, you take the two shoelaces and make loops separate from each other. You do not want to get them tangled, because if you get them tangled, when you tie your shoelaces, they'll become unfastened. This should take you about 1.6 seconds according to the diagram, but making sure that the loop sizes are correct so that you can make a knot that will not fall apart is important. You don't want the loops to be too large and you don't want them to be too small, because if your loops are too large, then basically they will become undone easily if you pull on them. And if they're too short, then you'll be able to pull the long side very quickly and you won't be able to make a secure knot. On section 7 of the diagram, you see now that you have the two loops and you're tying them together, but they are not fastened. In this position, you will not be able to continue forward because the loops will become undone. Once you fasten them, you'll be closer to your state of completion. Once you have securely made sure you have the two shoelaces overlapping each other, secured tightly, and you have the loops at the correct lengths, and they are tied together and securely fastened, you should be at the state of completion for tying your shoes. Thank you.